The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bommarito Automotive Group. Bommarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership, and they are proud to represent the #1 podcast in St. Louis, the STL Bucket List Show. We've personally purchased several vehicles from Bommarito, including our last one, which we recently just had another baby, so we had to upgrade to an SUV with third row seating. The entire team, John, Chuck, they all treated us like family. There's really nowhere else that we would buy a car in Missouri other than Bommarito Automotive Group. Enjoy the show.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home. Yeah.
St. Louis, we're back with another episode highlighting the people, places, and events that make our city special. We have one of those people in the studio today, but really one of those events that's new to St. Louis, a new professional sports organization. We have the St. Louis Shock Pickleball, and we got their COO, Andrew Haines, in the studio, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So I like pickleball, recreational. I see the courts. I live in a neighborhood. They got courts in the neighborhood, but I did not know until I got introduced to you guys from Blake and the guys and all that there was even such a thing as professional pickleball. It started picking up steam. What is it? Tell us about the sports organization. Give us a little background on the St. Louis Shock and tell us what you guys do.
Yeah, St. Louis Shock, we're in Major League Pickleball.
Yeah.
It's team-based. So we have 2 male, 2 female players that compose, I can't even talk here, that compose the team. We play gender versus gender for both male and then female, and then we play 2 mixed matches.
Yeah.
It's a very fast-paced, high-energy, game. And, add the team aspect into it. You're cheering. There's a little bit more trash talk. It's a little bit different than your normal, just like pickleball.
Yeah.
And then the level of play definitely is a lot different than what we see, as we're driving around. And, before I took this position, I was living in St. Pete Beach.
Yeah.
Passed pickleball courts all the time, never played, didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And started looking into it and was just blown away, at, the level of ownership that's involved in these teams. Like our team is owned by Richard Chaifetz and family.
Yeah.
Most people in St. Louis are going to know that name from Chaifetz Arena and the business school at SLU. So very prominent. We also have a lot of celebrity ownership within the league.
Yeah, isn't
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I read about that.
Kevin Durant. I mean, the list is 100 deep of A-level celebrities and athletes.
Yeah.
So a lot of money is being pumped into it to really develop it. And again, you get out there, it's like nothing you've ever seen. It's a show, and our team, we've got the swagger. We've got two of the top, well, really all 4 of our players that are our primary players. They're top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
So 2 of them on the male side, they're 19 years old.
Yeah.
Making a lot of money. They got a lot of swagger. Hayden, our one guy, wears his gold chain.
Energy. I've watched them on their IG. They look young too. I didn't know how young they were. They're kids.
They both started about when they were 14.
Yeah, that's when pickleball was starting to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really just taken off over the last few years, and it's rapidly growing. Like just in the last year and a half that I've been involved with the organization, we've seen ticket sales numbers skyrocket. Support from the corporate community, on the sponsorship side has grown. The viewership on the major networks and through our streaming and Pickleball TV. So it's all trending up, and I don't see it slowing anytime soon.
And it's not just young people, and it's not just old people. It's a mix of everything. Everybody can play pickleball, and I think the accessibility of it, of like maybe an older person being like, oh, well, I play pickleball, I can watch this. Usually like most major sports, you're done after 30.
Right.
You're done after 30. So I'm seeing your guys' content. Obviously, you got talent. It's really cool to see. I read about Patrick Mahomes owning a team. I think, obviously, we went out to the grand opening of Chicken and Pickle. That was my first introduction to pickleball in St. Louis. I know you lived in Florida, so it was bigger there before. But let's talk about this event. So we're going to be at the Chaifetz Arena. STL Bucket List will be there. You guys will be there. It's July 17th through the 20th. So this is a major league event. So what's the stadium going to look like? They're going to have the whole stadium, like the floors all made into courts. Like walk us through kind of what we can expect there.
Yeah, I mean, it's as far as pickleball goes, nothing like this has ever been done before. So we're really excited to be the first to play in a major sporting arena.
Yeah.
And so basically, if you've been to Chaifetz Arena for a SLU basketball game or a concert, basically our courts are going to be on, the floor. So we'll have a main championship court, and then we'll have a grandstand court. Those will be where the matches take place. So when you come out, you'll have access to see both of those. Really, you could see everything. There's going to be some practice courts as well for the teams that are getting ready to play.
Right.
And, you don't just come out and see the St. Louis Shock. There's going to be over 12 teams from the league that'll be out here competing.
Yeah.
And so you get a good mix of teams. But, really the highlight is going to be that Saturday night. We're going to face off against Dallas. Dallas is in first place. We're 1 point behind in the standings in second place. So that one's a highly anticipated match.
First Community Credit Union is the official banking partner of STL Bucket List. They've been serving St. Louis families for 90-plus years with 40-plus local branches and over 400,000 members. From personal credit loans to mortgages to kids and teen accounts, they also have a partnership with the STL Blues. You see Louie here if you're watching on YouTube. We're proud to use First Community. I use it for my own family and my own business. We're excited for them to be the official banking partner of STL Bucket List. Yeah. So the communities, people are talking about this, like obviously the blogs, the online platforms. You guys are really starting to build your guys' social media. How important is the marketing and social media in helping elevate the sport? Because you don't have the grandfathered in, Cardinals and like the grandfathered in people of kids that pass down to kids and season ticket holders. So like, how important has the marketing been to help elevate what you guys are doing, not only with sponsorships, but also ticket sales and just awareness in general?
It's everything, right? I mean, that's usually the first touch point that we're going to have with someone. So, how do we get them engaged? How do we let them know about the Shock? A lot of people don't know about the Shock yet.
Yeah.
And that's part of my job is to make sure we're doing everything we can. We're very active in the community.
Yeah.
But that social media, I mean, what's everybody do? First thing they get up, they're flipping through their phones, or people are just on digital devices all the time.
Yes.
And so we felt that it was very important to have, a top-notch presence there. And that's why we brought on the guys, and they have taken our social media just in the last 3 months to a whole new level. And it's going to continue to grow with them. We've created a YouTube series that they have produced for us, which is called Shock and All. It's behind the scenes. And again, you kind of get a chance to see the swagger and, excitement we have. Our owner's got a private jet. He flies us on to events, and, they take care of us all really well.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of fun, both on and off the court. And you get to see that in that Shock and All. And then throughout our social media, I mean, our goal is to let fans and people get to know us and feel like they're part of the Shock family. So it's just important for us to continue to build that and give fans accessibility to our players and give them stuff that they're not going to get with maybe the St. Louis Cardinals or the Blues, and try to really build that personal touch.
Because they're building real fans. Like you have young kids that want to see these people, because they're famous now, and you have an obligation to build their brand. I'm watching some of these videos now, and I mean, like the energy is crazy, and these people are really good. So what's the future of pickleball look like? I mean, walk us through, because how the league has 22 teams now.
Yeah.
22. So it's almost up there with most other professional leagues, and I'm sure there's more in the works,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of interest, and, our league is part of the UPA, which owns the PPA and the MLP.
Yeah.
PPA is basically a tournament style league. Our players play in both. Our league is the team based.
Yeah.
So they're totally different vibes. But basically, I mean, it gives these players an opportunity. I mean, top female player in the league is making $3.5 million a year.
Wow.
I mean, it's real money. We had a report come out a few months back. The average player in our league is, almost double the average WNBA player.
Yeah.
Salary. So, definitely, not doing bad. But it's going to continue to grow as it gets more commercialized. And, we do have some games on ESPN2 or ESPN, Fox, CBS Sports.
Yeah.
So, as those broadcasting, deals, continue to grow, it's just going to help build, not only our brands, but just pickleball in general.
Yeah.
And if you look out here right now, everywhere you go, I mean, it's hard to go like 5 miles without seeing pickleball somewhere.
Yeah.
And St. Louis is a unique market in the sense that I feel like there's a ton of pickleball courts and then also a lot of indoor venues. So there's really a lot of opportunities for people to play.
Yeah.
And I think where we're going to see huge growth over the next 5 years is with the youth. You know, getting these kids playing when they're 5 years old and you know, continuing to progress. The game is going to continue to get younger and younger each year.
That is interesting. As once they introduce it in schools and they start turning some of these tennis courts into pickleball courts, which you're already seeing right now.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to have the Chaifetz group? Obviously, you know, you mentioned St. Louis. We all have been to Chaifetz Arena, whether it's for a graduation, I've been to a ton of SLU games, but to have a group like that investing in pickleball really gives you guys, you know, the motivation you need to really make it something special too.
Yeah, and you know, if you don't know Rich or Ross Chaifetz, I mean, they're passionate about what they do, and you know, that's one of the things that really excited me about this position. I mean, I was living in paradise, and I love St. Louis, and I used to live here, you know,
but you're down
before.
in St. Pete, you know,
so
it took a lot for you to come back up here.
It did, but to see their passion, and you know, if you've ever been to a Billikens game and you've seen Rich there, you know, he's fanatic on the sidelines. Like he's out there, he's passionate, and he does the exact same thing with us in pickleball. And, you know, he wants to win.
Yeah.
And not just on the court, like our whole organization, we want to win at everything that we do. And so it's kind of a nice mix. I feel like all the personalities really mesh well together from our ownership, myself, you know, players, the rest of our staff. You know, we like to have a good time, but at the bottom line is we all want to win.
Of course. For over 150 years, SSM Health has been providing hope, healing, and opportunities to the St. Louis community. With over 40,000 employees across 4 states, they're not only delivering exceptional care, they're one of the region's largest employers, shaping the future of healthcare. We're proud to present SSM Health as the official healthcare partner of the STL Bucket List Show. If you've dreamed of a career where you're truly making a difference every day, SSM Health can help you take that to the next step. Learn more at their website in the link in the show notes.
So
that's why Saturday night is going to be big.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be must-see TV, man. I mean, and then, you know, you have your brand ambassadors. So I saw some of the SLU guys are really helping you guys promote the brand. And it's really cool with melding the sports. And sports is just at the fabric of everything. And I mean, as you're back in St. Louis, you can kind of see. So what are you guys doing in the St. Louis community? Because obviously your players are from all over the country. What are you doing to really give back to the St. Louis community?
We do a lot of local events here. So we do organized play. We do what's called duper rating sessions. It's a rating system that lets you know what level of a player you are. Yeah. And you know, it's kind of addictive sometimes when you get that because you feel like you're better than your duper.
Of course.
And you know, Ross Chaifetz and I and the team, we're always joking about that. Like, you know, we want to improve that. So we host these events on a regular basis where people come out, they play organized play. We upload their scores to the duper system and it helps their rating. So we do that. We also do clinics. We've developed the whole minor league system. We have over 110 players currently on our minor league program. They compete in tournaments all over the country. And that's going to be another pathway for us to really develop. But what's really cool about our minor league program is the way minor league pickleball works is in those dupers ratings, it breaks down different levels of players. So someone like me who really has no chance of going professional as much as I'd like to, I can still compete with a team, have fun, be part of the Shock brand. On our minor league program, we have players from 10 years old to 75 years old. What other
match
sport,
them up evenly with other people?
What other sport can you do that?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the unique and really cool thing about pickleball is that like there really is a sense of community within the pickleball world. And like once you get out there, even if you're, you know, a first time player, you want to go try it, 99% of the time, those people are very welcoming. You know, when you come out to a court and you don't know anyone and, you know, they're going to spend some time and teach you the rules or help you along. But I've met some really, really great people through this. You know, once I got to St. Louis, I started playing. I want to, I'm working in it. I want to know more. I want to have some fun. And
right.
I've
You
met
can't
some
let the
great
guys
people.
chirp you if you're bad, when you get down to the thing. You
No,
gotta get better.
that's a problem
You
too.
gotta
Is
get better.
they're like, oh, you work for the team, you must be good. No, I'm not. But
Yeah, I operate the business. I am not the business. The business is Gabe, Kate, Anna, Hayden, and all those people, the athletes.
Yeah.
And just like with any sports program, I mean, I'm looking at Hayden, I'm looking at Anna, and both Kate, they came from tennis backgrounds.
Yeah.
Gabe and Hayden both started when they're young. So what is it like to have that talent, like identifying talent and then being able to take care of those players? Because that's what's going to lead you guys, the future, especially how young they are too.
Yeah, I mean, it's unique. I mean, you think about it. I mean, Gabe and Hayden didn't really go to high school. They were training, they were traveling. To play professional pickleball, you're on the road 40 weeks a year.
Right.
It's not a short season.
Yeah.
Between MLP and PPA, so there's a lot of things that you miss out when you miss that. So. I mean, they're just rapidly progressing so much in everything that they're doing, and what I like about it is it gives me an opportunity to help them. A lot on and off the court. Really off the court, not helping those guys on the court at all. But it's unique, and that's part of my job is more off the court type stuff. So just making sure they're taken care of from a medical standpoint, from all of our logistics. It's travel, and everyone's coming from different areas, so it definitely gets fun.
Logistically, and it's like still as a new franchise, it's like you don't have the in-house capabilities of some of these other professional teams, where nutrition coaches and all these things, like you're piecing those together where they're at, and you're meeting them where they're at, and then the kids have to be really responsible, to take care of that and make sure that these are young kids, and that's. It's tough.
That is the tough thing, like Gabe, this is a viral moment maybe 6 months ago. He's in, I think it's the championship match of a tournament.
Yeah.
And it's like a timeout. He starts eating pizza on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? But, it just became like a joke. Like he just, they can do that still at that age. And and they're starting to see, and what's great about the Chaifetz family is their ties with SLU. I mean, we got a chance to go meet the nutrition team at SLU and just talk about like just how proper nutrition can help these athletes. And, that's how you take a great athlete like Gabe or Hayden and take them to the next level. It's those little things. And I think that's where we can separate from other teams.
Yeah.
And it's just a great, group to be part of. And those guys make it fun. It's never dull, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, and you've been able to build this team. So the MLP and what you guys are building, obviously, it's just at the beginning. What does some of the future look like? Like, is it TV contracts? Is it dedicated arenas and stadiums? I mean, what is like the pathway for you guys as you look at the future of the brands?
Yeah, I mean, I think all pro sports. I mean, they're thriving based off of TV, that TV contract. So I think, that's on the horizon. I know the league officials are working on that.
Yeah.
More from a team standpoint, I mean, we are looking to develop our own pickleball venues.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about that. So we've got a real estate team that's kind of looking for locations, and we're really going through that process. So
and that's locally here too.
Oh yeah. Our goal is to have multiple within the greater St. Louis market,
open to the public, and also private training facilities too.
Yeah. We'll have a main office that'll have pickleball courts. We'll have some stadium seating at one of them, and we'll try to host larger scale events and really just again grow the pickleball community. And growing it is just introducing it to everyone. And you kind of mentioned it earlier. I mean, the unique thing is, minor league team 10 to 75 years old, and they could play together. Yeah. And, which is, you can't really do that with basketball or a lot of these sports. And so it really creates a great opportunity for anyone who, wants to come out and just get involved from an amateur standpoint.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a great athlete. It's something that can be picked up.
You don't have to have like gifts that other people can't have. Like you don't need to be 6'10". You don't need to be
now, to
the
be
fastest
professional.
kid.
It's a whole different ballgame. But to just come out and play, I mean, I remember when I first started playing, I was like, I was playing like probably like a 70-something-year-old lady.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I got to take it easier on. Well, hell, she whipped me, like, you know,
Yeah.
it
Because she's been
wasn't-
doing it all summer. The last 5
exactly,
years.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's on now,
Yeah.
it's on, Grandma, let's
Yeah.
go.
The STL Bucket List Show is proudly sponsored by Suede Dispensary. With 11 Missouri area locations, Suede does so much for the St. Louis community. We've been working with this team for a couple years back since medical was here, and we're excited to support their new product launches, events, and community initiatives. We couldn't be happier to work with this premier cannabis brand, and we're excited for them to sponsor the show. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. But the cool thing, and I think we touched on it a little bit, but it's like, okay, let's just say me, I'm a dad, but then I'm with my dad and maybe my grandparent. It's like you can have 4 generations out there in the same match. Like me and my dad could be playing one of my kids and one of my grandparents, like it all on the same court,
Right.
and actually be competitive. Where if you're playing baseball, like I grew up playing baseball, and you just can't do it. You can play softball, but it's not the same experience. And baseball has kind of done the same thing that you guys are doing with like these showcases and like grading kids and like getting people into the infrastructure at such a young age. And same with, you're starting to see it with football, with basketball and all these other things. But that's really cool that you guys have the minor league system. So in the minor league system, you only have 4 professional players. What is the case? Do you have to trade somebody? Do you call them up? Like if somebody actually makes a big difference, is that like, oh, you got called up, or I'm trading you and this person to another organization? Like there's free agency tradings and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the high-end player in our minor league team has that opportunity really to get to the professional level. I mean, we have some minor league players that are like right on the cusp.
Yep.
And, just a little more training.
Yep.
Maybe within the circle, and a lot of it's, those relationships. So I think there's an opportunity for us to develop that high-end amateur player to get to the professional ranks. Obviously, the top 4 players we have on our pro team are top of the top.
Yeah.
So it'll be hard to overcome them
Yes.
quickly before, getting your foot in the door with another pro team or something like that. So I think it's a great opportunity for these players. We're also looking to potentially develop a practice squad, and really try to help build those minor league players up that are on the high end.
Yeah.
And help them achieve those goals. I mean, they're achievable for sure. And there's several players that we're very close to getting, an opportunity this season.
Yeah.
But, 1 or 2 things, here or there. So, I mean, we're going to keep, plugging away, and that's our goal, is to really help them.
So this when this episode comes out, we're about 8 days out from the big weekend. So what can people expect? Tell us kind of about the activations that you guys will have there. How many people are you guys expecting there? Walk them through how close they can get to the action and like different things that, that they can expect that might be different than other events.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the cool things about Major League Pickleball is just the accessibility to the players. So, to be able to, meet, get autographs, photos, they're all very friendly, and they'll be walking around, the arena. There'll be a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one aspect that's fun. I also think that, just in Chaifetz Arena, every seat in there is it's going to be a great view.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great atmosphere. But you're going to have matches from roughly, and it ranges every day, but roughly like 11 to like 6 or 7 at night. So you have all day matches going on 2 courts.
Yep.
You can come for one, you can stay for all of them. Tickets are by the day. We also offer a discounted 4-day ticket, which is another great way to
Come later.
Come all 4 days. It's Thursday through Sunday, and we've got some great matches. Our matches each day are the last match of the day. Roughly between 4 or 5, they typically will start. And then Saturday we have 2 matches.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. And with the ticket price, you're not just there for an hour or 2, you're there all day. So I think people can look at that and be like, okay, I can spend my whole afternoon there, meet people. It's kind of like when we used to do high school, like I was in wrestling too, like you'd wrestle, but then you'd come up in the stands and sit with your family, and like their families are all going to be there and everything like that. So no, I think that, so this is going to be, I mean, from what I'm seeing online is the biggest event in Major League Pickleball. This is going to be that cream of the crop, hopefully every summer at this same time. That's the summer event that everybody in the MLP look forward to, is this event. And that's the goal.
That's the goal. I mean, everything's trending that way. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, of course.
I'm probably not going to sleep for the next
week and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's all looking very promising. There's going to be some great matches there. Again, top players in the world. I mean, it's the first time that St. Louis has had a major event like this for pickleball.
Yeah.
And then to top on, like, the venue we're doing it on, the response we're getting, it's
the family
off the
ties
charts.
with Chaifetz.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so they're going to be promoting because it's their first big event too.
Absolutely.
And everything is all matching up.
Yeah. Ross and Rich will be. We actually play in Grand Rapids this week, so Michigan. So we'll be back Sunday. Rich and Ross Chaifetz will be here all week.
Yeah.
We'll be doing all kinds of interviews and really hyping it up.
Yeah.
Try to get that final push.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a great event. Again, you talked a little bit about some of the activations. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Like, we have a lot of sponsors that do tastings, whether that be coconut water or tequilas, wines. We'll
it's
have
be a social event too.
Yeah. And it's family friendly, but definitely adult friendly as well. So.
That's good. Yeah, later it gets in the day and they start talking trash on the field. You might hear some words and stuff like that. They're going to be mic'd up and stuff too. Like, I think that, like, you're starting to see that with more sports organizations and stuff like that. So, no, I'm super excited for you guys. And I mean, obviously, STL Bucket List, our commitment to St. Louis is to highlight the people, places, and events that make our city special. And, we want this to be big, and we want more people to come to this every year. And we want people, when they think of Major League Pickleball, that they're like, oh yeah, the St. Louis event every year. And I feel like that's possible. You guys have the resources. You guys have the team to make that happen. And we're going to beat Dallas on Saturday night. That's the first step.
For sure.
And I know that your guys' socials are about to go crazy, just because, like, when you have events like that, it's just like all day socials and everything like that. It's just like highlighting that and giving people access to everything that you guys do. Looking for something light, crisp, and absolutely refreshing? Zwickle Light by Urban Chestnut is the official light beer of the STL Bucket List Show. It's less than 100 calories, and it's the perfect drink for summer. Enjoy a beer at the beer garden, in the Grove, or chilling at home in the backyard with your friends and family. This episode is sponsored by Upshot Coffee, 3 St. Louis area locations in Cottleville, Break Shop in St. Charles, and their new Hi-Fi location in Clayton. I personally use Upshot Coffee every day at my espresso machine at home, and I try to visit one of the shops at least once a week. They source the beans responsibly from local farms all across the world, and they take care of their staff, and they take care of the community. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, and to recap on what you were saying is, to get it back here next year, it really comes back to, like, the support.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that, like, in the business community. I mean, we've brought on, several large partnerships for this event. We have Pickleman's, Charles Schwab, a local AC distribution company called Mars. We just signed today O2 Sports Insurance. So, like, we're not only getting it on the ticket sales, we're also getting it in the business community.
Of course.
And that's going to really help. Our goal is to host more than one of these events a year in St. Louis. And I think that, we're building the blueprint for other teams to follow within the league with how to launch a new event.
Yeah. I mean, it's new sports. There's so much stuff to do in St. Louis, but for one thing that people can think about is it's hot. You're going to be inside in the air conditioning. You're going to be able to see, some high-level competitions, some high-level sports. And then also, you're going to be able to get to see something that most of you play. So, like, a lot of the people that I know play pickleball. It's like, okay, let me go watch people. Like, I might learn some stuff. And, it's just one of those things. I mean, St. Louis, as you're seeing, is a big sports town, but we're also a big business town and corporate. And you've been noticing that with the corporate partners is they'd be happy to write a check to help support an event like this because – for instance, you mentioned Pickleman's. It's like Pickleman's is right there next door to the Chaifetz Arena, and there's gonna be a lot of kids eating sandwiches this weekend.
Oh yeah, and their cookies. I like their cookies.
Their cookies are fire. Yeah, their cookies are fire. No, they're a good local group too. I know those guys over there at Pickleman's as well. So, no, man, I appreciate you guys for coming on. We're excited for this event to be in St. Louis. We're gonna drop the ticket link. So if you guys go to stlshock.com, they're on the homepage. You can scroll down and you'll see the MLP event in St. Louis, July 17th to the 20th. Grab tickets. You guys are really responsive online. So if you have any questions, send a message to the team online. They'll be able to help direct you. There's some different ticket packages in there. So if I'm reading them now, and it's all on Ticketmaster. So you got your GA ticket, You got your different rows that you guys can get, your VIP ticket for VIP seating, which looks like it's in the middle of each court.
Yeah, the nice thing at VIP is you'll be able to watch both courts, and it's more like lounge seating and just a little bit more comfortable. There's bar and some food in there as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So it looks like there's going to be 2 courts on the floor, one on each side, and you'll have different matches mostly all day. But then when it comes to those end of the night matches, they'll be dedicated to one court, and everybody will kind of move their way in.
Exactly.
No, that's sweet, man. No, I appreciate you for coming on. Is there anything else that you want to touch on before we wrap, or anything
we have
one
other event leading up to that, and we're hosting a clinic with our player Eric Lang.
Okay.
He's been a pro for a while, high level. He's going to be teaching a clinic on Tuesday.
Okay.
And information's on the website for that as well. But
Nice.
it's an opportunity to kind of learn from one of the pros. And
where's that going to be at?
that's going to be at Missouri Pickleball Club in Ellisville.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, we'll drop some info on that. And then, if you guys want to go follow STL Shock on all platforms leading up to the event. And hopefully, we'll see you guys down there. We're going to have our team down there. The guys are going to be there. The Chaifetz family is going to be there. And what are you going to be doing? What's your role at the event? You just going to be grinding?
Yeah, probably everything. Yeah, I mean, for the matches, I'm on the bench with the team.
Yeah.
So providing support. But everything else, I'm going to be out and about. We got to play, man. You got to. We'll have some paddles down there. And,
we'll come down.
Yeah.
What is we actually didn't touch on the coaching. So, obviously you mentioned the bench. So let's just say it's a co-ed match. You got all your 4 people down there, but then, you got your team, your ownership group. Like, how big is your guys' bench? I mean, you guys are packed now.
Yeah. I mean, we have, our social team alone is, 4.
Yeah.
Myself, Hallie, my wife, she just joined the team in a branding and community aspect.
Yeah.
And then the Chaifetz family. And then we have 2 reserve players, Eric Lang and Judith Castillo.
And then your coaches, Brandon, Taylor.
Yeah, and they don't travel with us this year.
Yeah.
They were really supportive and helpful in our draft process this year and kind of help behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Eric has really taken, a leadership role. One of our players, the bench player, really helped with strategy and just, coaching on site. So, that's kind of our nucleus. And, we're all kind of crazy. And it makes for some great entertainment for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you so much for coming by. Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you guys at the event.
Hey, St. Louis, Brent Labowitz, Labowitz Law Firm, personal injury law firm here in St. Louis. Excited to be part of the STL Bucket List and sponsor them for their podcast. Just want to go ahead and say, if you ever need a personal injury lawyer here in town in St. Louis, give us a call, look us up. You get involved in an accident of any type at all, give us a call, free case evaluation. We'll try to walk you through the process.
Today, they rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.